again, beauties. I am your hostess with the mostest, Simply Sheba. You know the slogan, I do what I want and not what I can. And what I want to do tonight is welcome you to season 3 premiere of the Me and Mine show. You got to clap for that, beauties. I've been gone for a while. We got to get that a round of applause. Gotta get that a round of applause. I've been gone for a while. I've been missing y'all. I know y'all been missing me. I'm glad to be back. I hope you're glad to see me. Yes, beauties. Well, we got a great show in store for you tonight. We have interviews from Tarod McNight, the host and creator of Tarodcast. He sits down with me tonight. We talk about some things that are very rarely talked about in our community. We sit down and we talk about mental health. So, beauties, I hope you stick around for this show. I think there are some things that you can definitely take from the interview. If not, it was just a really dope interview. So, watch it or whatnot. Also, the interview was very informative as well as insightful. I was able to get a better perspective on a lot of things and also some clarity for some things that I thought I knew. My mind got changed. So that happens to the best of us. No one is too old to, learn something. And thank you to Rod for teaching me something tonight. We also have music from Gustavia the Don later on in the show, so I hope you guys stick around for that. It's going to be totally great. But first, let's get to the news. Welcome to the portion of the Me and My show that we call the Daily Dish, where we give you all the news you can use, as well as from rich to ratchet. We're talking about it. But first up is the 6th annual Back to My Roots fashion show. It is hosted and brought to you by Lakeitha Dukes, creator and owner of Back to My Roots. Shout out to Lakeitha. Let's give her a round of applause for just everything she do for the community. This is 6 years running. This woman has brought us some of the dopest fashions from Oklahoma City. She has put on for some of the dopest just local designers, giving them an opportunity and a platform to show and bring all of us her work. So you definitely got to give her an applause for that. This year's fashion show is not just a fashion show. It's more of an experience. I promise it's an event that you don't want to miss. The whole event is 3 days long. So like I said, it's not a fashion show. It's definitely an experience. And you definitely need to come in and check out the Back to the Roots experience. They're going to bring you fashions from a lot of different local designers, as well as vendors like KK's Closet is going to be in the building. Body Beads is going to be in the building. I practiced that shit all day, so shout out to Body Beads because she had me working. I'm definitely going to go look and see, get some for me and Fish, see if he likes some of them beads all over my body. As well as Malago Soaps and many other vendors will be in the building, so you definitely need to go check that out. 3 days. Friday, first day, you have the Back to My Roots show dinner, which will be prepared by Chef Prince. You can partake in this at 8937 Northeast 10th in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Dinner, Friday, bomb. And if you know Chef Prince, you know that he's putting it down. Saturday is the day party. It is the day that I am looking forward because, baby, I want to go sip some tea and maybe get some tea for the Me and Mine show. You can catch the day party, and enjoy yourself and come out and mingle. You know what I'm saying? Get the party bumping and jumping at Kendrick Spirits. That's located at 1726 Northeast 23rd. You know what I mean? So if you want to come out and enjoy the day party with all the rest of the beauties, like I said, that's at Kendrick Spirits, 1726 Northeast 23rd. And Sunday is what I like to call the finale, the season finale. It is the day of the fashion show. You can come check out all of the dope vendors as well as designers and the nice clothes. The one thing that I love about the fashion show is that if you're a natural girl, a classy girl, sophisticated, whatever lifestyle or whatever box that you put yourself in, because I wear everything, I do what I want, but whatever fits you, there is definitely something for you. You know what I mean? She always makes the black woman and anyone else who wants to wear the Back to My Roots and clothing feel very inclusive. So I think, this is an event. Well, no, let me take that back. I know that this is an event that you do not want to miss. Speaking of dope events, this is also another dope event that I'm very, very looking forward to. It is the first annual Sneaker Ball. Now, this is coming to us not until March 27th to be exact. This event is brought to you by Candy Girl Entertainment. As we know, they always throw a good party, so I'm definitely going to be in the building. That's ball gowns, tuxes, and sneakers. Where do you go wrong? I just don't know. Milkshakes or Chucks? I'm not really sure. You know, y'all can have all of the retros and the J's and the Lebrons. You know, my only decision is milkshakes, Chucks. I don't know. Maybe beauties. Matter of fact, what y'all think I should wear? Milkshakes or Chucks? Leave your comments down in the bottom of the box, beauties. But like I said, definitely come out to the first annual sneaker ball. I think all of the women and the men are going to have a good time. You know, one of my favorite aspects of the sneaker ball, beauties, is that it is free. There is no admission to get into the sneaker ball. So check this out. You got to get to put on your good clothes. You don't have to pay a door fee. You get to mingle. You get to hang and bang. Get good drinks, food, and hang with your friends and look cute while you're doing it. Where else can you go wrong with that? So make sure you check out the first annual sneaker ball March 27th. And also make sure you check out the whole season of the Me and My Show, because we're going to be giving away free tickets to the sneaker ball. You got to catch the episode to get in on the giveaway. And speaking of giveaway, remember I did mention early in the show, back to my roots. So, yep, you know it. We got 2 free tickets to give away to beauties tonight. Now, there are 2 ways that you can win these tickets. First up, this is one of my favorites. It's a double shot. This is when I be nickel and diming out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? This is usually what I put the nickels and dimes in. So I've already counted the money. Can you all see it? There's nothing but nickels and dimes. Because this is how I started. Y'all know E40. From a nickel and dime, yeah, to a top. Y'all know the line. Sing it with me or drop them down in the comment. Anyway, the beauty who can guess or get as close to how much is in my nickel and dime jar will win tickets for tonight. You know, you don't have to get the exact amount. Whoever gets the exact amount or comes closest to it, then you are a winner. There is also another way, because we're not selfish and everybody might not have been able to see my jar to guess their amount. So there is also another way. Yeah, that's how we do it at the Me and My Show. We give you options around here for you to win those Back to My Roots fashion show tickets. You can also answer these 3 questions. You must correctly answer all 3 questions. First question: what year and day was the first annual Back to My Roots fashion show held on? Question number 2. Now, we all know Lakeitha by her fabulous locks. You know what I mean? If you don't know she got locks, then you don't know Lakeitha. I admire her locks. But because I love her locks, what I do want to do, the question that you do have to answer for me is, who is Lakeitha's loctician and where is her loctician's shop located at? And the third and final thing that you have to do is go to the Back to My Roots business page and screenshot and or download the 25th cover photo from the Back to My Roots business page. Now, you have to do all 3 of these things in order to win. Answer the first 2 questions as well as post the picture, the 25th cover photo picture from the Back to My Roots business page in my comment box. We will announce the winners tonight, and because we love you beauties so much, we will give you to the end of the show to submit your answers, as well as the money in the jar, my nickel and diamond, as well as the answer. So you got 2 ways to win those tickets tonight. You know what I'm saying? Shoot your shot. You never know. Everybody can be a winner here at the Me and My Show. Well, this has been this edition of The Daily Dish, where we give you news you can use from rich to ratchet. We're talking about it. This segment has been brought to you by Queen Mink Eyelashes, the official sponsor of the Me and My Show. Life is short. Life is real short. Your lashes shouldn't be. I am your hostess with the mostest, Simply Sheba. When we come back from commercial, Tarod McNight, we're sitting down right here on the Me and My Show. Beauties, do you want those eyes that mesmerize? Get your Queen Mink luxury eyelashes today. Queen Mink represents sexy, sophisticated, and confident. These high-volume, ultra-full mink lashes will give you high intensity and are perfect for creating a dramatic and glamorous look. Choose from stunning collections such as Girl Next Door, featuring styles like Candy Girl and Hot Girl, or the Bad and Bougie collection with styles such as Number One Stunner and Dime Piece. That's just the beginning. There are 13 more classic 3D styles to choose from. Quality should never be compromised. That's why Queen Mink luxury eyelashes are 100% Siberian mink. These lashes have a thinner, more flexible band than the typical lash and can even be reworn up to 25 times with proper care. From order to delivery, you will be happy 100% guaranteed. Order these high-quality, inexpensive lashes today at queenmink.com. And if you use the promo code SHIPA15, you get 15% off your order. Shipping is free on all orders as well as delivery in the OKC Metro. Lashes are a queen's best friend. Life is short. Your lashes shouldn't be. Good evening, beauties. It is I, your hostess with the most, Simply Sheba. You know the slogan, I do what I want and not what I can. And what I want to do tonight is introduce you to a dear friend of the show, Mr. Tarod McNight. Say hello to the beauties.
Hey, how y'all doing?
You know, we always got to say hi to the beauties because they are the reason why we do what we do.
Indeed.
I am so excited that you are here sitting down with me. It has been a while. We always make dates, and then because of our busy schedules, we break them. So I'm excited. So how's everything going with you?
You know, everything is good. Everything is good. I mean, you know, just every day maintaining, doing what I can, living life, and just trying to support my family. That's pretty much been me.
I get it. Like, trust me, that's the other, according to the politicians, 2.3 billion people here. COVID has really hit us hard. Thankfully, though, just to tell you the truth, thankfully, I was able to, we've been all right, you know. We've been good. I've been able to retain some employment, plus my self-business. Welcome to the Me and My Show.
Right.
So it's been good to me. But I am glad to see you. You're a dear friend to the show. I have to shout you out. So
thank you.
You know, he's such a humble guy, but I have to shout you out for the beginning. Like, Jesus, Tarod, you've been with your girl for a long time, man. Like, especially considering our relationship started as we meeting because you sponsored the event for the Tasha Awards, which is a dope event.
Even meeting you there, because that was 2017.
Yes,
man,
yes.
And it's 3 years strong, and I'm glad I had the opportunity just to not only be there, but just like you were saying with what happened yesterday, just to even network then.
Yes,
because I feel like those are the kind of things that bring us to where we are now.
Touche.
You know.
So yeah, like we met at the Tasha Awards. I'm like, what do you mean? Talk to me, listen to me, tell me if you like me, and you know, you are a beauty. You know, it's my beautiful friend Tarod, people.
Yes.
You know, and from like day on, the support. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now we are 3 years later.
I know.
And I'm so proud to be able to say that you are now the host of Tarodcast.
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Thank you.
It is so dope of a show. Tell the beauties how Tarodcast came about.
Tarodcast, well, this podcast was one that came about because honestly, I want to say around 2018, 2019, I actually started just listening to podcasts. And in listening to podcasts, I was just like, you know, just different interests. Because like for me, you know, I'm a geek. Sometimes I like sports, sometimes I don't, just depending on who's playing. But I was wanting to look for media that, for me, because I grew up with Pokemon, so that's like my childhood thing, and so for me, I was like, well,
again, Pokemon was your thing.
Yeah, and that's what I grew up with. So I was like, all right, so I want to listen. Like, I want to know if there's anybody that's actually like talking about this. So I was like, all right, well, I had crossed over the iPhone. Let me download this podcast app and type in Pokemon and see what come up. And so I'm like, I found a couple different podcasts. I was listening to them, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good content. So I began my relationship with podcasts between like 2018, 2019, and as far as the idea to come up with a podcast of my own is concerned, I like to talk to people. I like to have conversations. I like to try and, get to different layers of people through conversation. Because for me, the part of me that wants to relate to people and understand people is, or finds most comfort in getting to know them, and in turn I also get to learn about things regarding myself.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm speaking to different people on social media, off social media, wherever I can find them, and even people I've reconnected with, who I now have really good relationships with, and coming to a place of understanding within myself where, for me, I want to be more introspective. I want to be more open. I want to talk about the things that people are just like, I'm so glad you told me that, or
right.
I'm glad we had this conversation, or whatever, because I'm just like, for me, I feel like whenever I can be truthful and open and honest, and give someone a part of me that genuinely helps them, or helps to bring understanding to a situation, or even if it's a kind word or whatever the case is, for me, that was something that I was like, I want to do that, but I want to do it in a way where, for me, it's personal.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, potentially give someone something that, whether they have thought about it, whether they haven't, it's something that if I were to say it, it resonates with them.
Right.
And so for me, out of that idea, that is where Tarodcast was born. It was born from, me getting to a level in my adulthood where I'm like, okay, I'm really starting to understand accountability. I'm really starting to understand what it means to navigate, to be wrong a lot.
You have been very transparent within this journey. I've also seen it. The Beauties and I have had a chance to see it through the podcast. We spoke about your then girlfriend, now wife. You all currently were very transparent in a journey that you all went through. You talked to us about it through the podcast. You even through your social media. As you said, I take it that this was a therapeutic process for you, and not just you, but her as well. You all dealt with mental health. This is a rare thing where we have gentlemen who are willing to be transparent when it comes to things that are wrong. It's not even a cultural thing. It's a gender thing that, a man cannot be wrong.
Yeah.
And I know how to fix everything is you all's mantra. So this was something new and refreshing for me, because it's not seen often where the roles tend to be reversed, where the husband has to show his vulnerability while still maintaining that sense of control, that sense of I can fix this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So can you give the beauties a little bit of the backstory that led into this journey, and then just let us know what was going on, because now let me tell you this first. Friend is doing wonderful. The wife is doing wonderful. God is good. The baby's doing wonderful.
Yes.
But yeah, I think because one of the reasons why I brought this up with your friend and I wanted to discuss it with you is because, once again, you were transparent about this from the gate.
Right.
And because mental health is something that's not really talked about in our community.
Yes. Well, for me, my love, appreciation, and understanding and camaraderie for mental health started, just being exposed to that, being exposed to the fact that there are unseen challenges that people have. And earlier this year, whenever the situation that happened with my family happened, I wanted to, again, be as transparent about it as possible, especially on my show. And to be quite honest, the show in and of itself, my wife wanted to do in order to just get it out, in order to just talk about it and actually put a face to what exactly is happening. And it was a situation that really showed us a lot about ourselves. It showed us who you really are when the situation really calls for it. And for me, choosing to engage in this process, and to allow my wife the opportunity to just talk about her experiences and what she sees and what she's gone through, in that episode. Honestly, it was one of the hardest to do, because it's not something that, again, is always talked about in our community.
It's very, I'm gonna be honest, it's very rarely talked about in our community.
Yeah, and with that being said, yes, all of that is definitely things that I learned just along this journey, because the things about this, it's like, again, we, if you have a brain as a human, then it doesn't disqualify you when it comes to what you look like, as far as whether you do or don't have a mental health issue or whatever. It can be with anyone. And I know that with our community, a lot of it is not understood in a way that allows us to have the empathy and the care and the love that we need, in order to really talk about what's going on. Because again, it's like, just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Said invisible scars.
Exactly, and I feel like when it comes to those who deal with any type of mental health issue, as far as what I've seen, because for me, I don't necessarily have a specific diagnosable mental health issue. Right. But I know for a lot of people that do, they wish it could just be visible, because it
would give a lot of people more understanding.
Exactly, because like, if you have a cold, you're coughing and sneezing, but when you're depressed, it just looks like you don't want to get out of bed. Or if you're having a manic moment, it's like, you feel super good, you want to go to the store, you want to buy some things, or or you just want to go out, see a whole bunch of people, or and people don't understand there's a shift that's happening, and also being, just understanding things like that, and how it can truly affect not only who you are, but how you are. To be honest, communication is one of the things that, for us specifically, is the foundation of what we have. And so, when it came to what happened earlier this year, and the what's the word I'm looking for, the event that happened earlier this year, mental health was always a conversation, and so learning about mental health was something that, for me, I learned a lot through her, because she trusted me with what she could say and what she was also trying to say.
Right.
And so for me, just being able to, learn the things that I was able to learn through her is what allowed me to have even the understanding that I have today, and also to be able to get to a point where we can also express these things together, in a way that made sense, or as much sense as it could possibly make. But at the same time, it's just, realizing that, throughout the years, it's like, I understand that, I understand that mental breakdowns are a thing. They happen whether you want them to or not, and most oftentimes you don't want them to happen.
Right.
But it's not something that for a lot of people you can just control. Because as far as what I've learned, there are certain conditions where it feels like your brain is actively working against you. And there are certain things that you want to do, but your brain is telling you something or showing you something, like a different, as my wife likes to say, sometimes it can make you feel like you're in a different reality, but you're seeing regular world as it's happening at the same time. Yeah. And so, a lot of people don't necessarily understand what type of
does she suffer from manic depression?
When it comes to that, yes, because there are moments, there are moments, and the thing is with her being also aware of those moments as well, she can communicate that.
Yeah.
And I feel like just with the because, and I'll say this, oftentimes we believe mental illness to be associated with people who are in a a psychiatric treatment facility, an asylum, in a straitjacket,
right.
Things like that.
They're walking around about
right
every day.
It's like but it's like and oftentimes we think that is what it is. But in reality, what a lot of us don't realize is that, it for a lot of people who do struggle with some sort of, and I don't want to say struggle, who deal with mental illness in any form or fashion, there are parts of them where they feel like they can be normal, but at the same time, there are things that completely make them feel alien. Because people can't see what's going on, and that's the part that she really she really communicated with me, because there's a lot of people, like you were saying earlier, it can be a trauma, it can be something that happened just within your DNA or your makeup or whatever the case may be, that could be a factor into how your brain evolves and grows as you age and mature. And so because there's a lot of
triggers.
Yeah, exactly, and there's a lot of stuff that scientists are still trying to figure out.
Put that out there to the beauty. There are triggers.
Right.
There are moments where you can be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can go 2 years and you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe something, a memory, just
Mm-hmm.
anything, and it triggers. Do you all have you all found and recognized some of her triggers in order for prevention and just to be able to help you deal with it a little bit?
For us, it's like I said, it's constantly and consistently about communication. Like I was saying earlier, as far as even my journey towards trying to be and being the man that I am now, there were parts of me that, yes, could be identified as triggers, because there could be a certain thing or a certain thing I say or something like that, where those types of correlations could possibly trigger what's called like a low, as opposed to a high, like high being manic, low being depressed, and so those kind of things, just being able to even understand those things about myself,
right?
To where when it comes to communicating and living in a way where we all have the ability to be ourselves, and to understand and respect one another, it's one of those things that it definitely took a lot of conversation and a lot of growth and understanding from me, because again, there were a lot of things about myself that I also had to fix as well,
to even help deal with what she was going through,
right? Just to be able to reconcile within myself, so that way I could fully have the most open heart and open mind I could have to everything that she was giving to me, the highs and the lows. And so for me, it's like it's do you love this woman, to be able to want to understand and to want to be there, because it's I feel like a lot of people don't really even get that to that level within themselves, asking themselves the question, do you want to be in this situation? Do you want to love this person through everything? Because everything is good when the days are good, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, exactly. And so it's like, do you want to be there?
I would like to talk a little bit about the standpoint of the loved one who has to deal with someone who is dealing with mental health. It is implied that you are to be supportive. I'm not saying you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, but mental health is a tricky thing. So I want you to tell, like, the beauties, like, I want you to kind of be honest with the beauties, with, like, some of the frustrated emotions that you went through, as well as how you dealt with this. And, was it a difficult process? And where did you go for some comfort, some help? Like, where did you find support? Because we rarely talk about the support for those that are trying to support someone dealing with mental health.
Well, for me, my biggest frustration is knowing that there are certain things that I won't be able to understand about what is happening in that moment. Not being able to step inside of one's mind when they are in the midst of something that they can't control. That the thing that frustrates me the most is not being able to fully relate, because my brain doesn't operate the same way. And for me, that's the thing that really hurts me the most, is because it's like you could, a lot of people say cliche things like, oh, you need to think happy thoughts, or just things like that, but it's not that simple. And I understand it's not that simple, but what frustrates me is the fact that I don't understand to the degree that I would want to understand, as far as how not simple that process really is. Because if a brain was like a light switch and you had control over it, then yeah, things would be a lot easier. Right. But it's not the case, because sometimes, as far as what I've seen, what I've observed, is like something can be starting and you realize it and you want to try and push it back, but sometimes it comes in waves, and sometimes you have to let it also run its course, and for me is, that honestly, that, my biggest frustration is only being able to understand up to a certain point, because I can connect only up to a certain point, but because my brain doesn't operate the same way as far as getting into the depths of the darkness sometimes. Those are things that for me, it tears me up, because it's something that it's just like I wish I could like be in it, so that way when the brain tells you exactly that, and also when the brain makes you feel like you're alone, and even the people closest to you, sometimes your brain is saying it's only you. Those are the things that it's like I wish I could be like banging on the door, outside the brain, exactly, trying to like scare it away or whatever the case, but it's just like knowing I can't do that sometimes. That's the thing that really hits me.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine you all have a family, which at the point when it was made you somewhat the primary caregiver of you all's daughter, while your wife was trying to get better. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little sarcastic in this serious moment. Did it give you a better understanding of how we feel as women? Having to handle home, hearth, and spouse.
Yeah, and the thing is, no, it definitely did, but at the same time, just knowing that for us, we had to keep everything together. There's no point in letting things fall by the wayside. There's no point in being so caught up to where it's just like and not to necessarily say that somebody can't or that they're not entitled to feel the way that they feel, because people handle things in many different ways. Right. But as far as me being husband, father, as far as understanding what my responsibility is in this moment, I knew that as much as it hurt, I also had to make sure I stood tall and I stood firm, so that way when we started transitioning back into normal routine, it didn't feel different, because the last thing I want to do is create this atmosphere where where you step back into a situation and it feels like you're walking on eggshells. Because and again, it's just wanting to do everything I can to understand what's happening, so that way I can have that empathy and I can do those things that allow me to connect with what is happening and what's going on. Excuse me, because again, if I just would have left it in a if I just would have left it in an arena where I didn't give myself the opportunity to try and at least in some capacity understand what was going on, then I would have been doing her a disservice.
A big disservice.
Your
daughter too.
Exactly.
She deserves her mother.
Right.
She deserves a healthy mother.
Mm-hmm. And it's understanding that as you get older, as you have these relationships,
sacrifices don't nobody be wanting to
right
talk about.
no it is,
that's another show to ride. Sacrifices, that's a show by itself.
But at the same time, it's just like it really showed me who I was in those moments and what was necessary of me to do. Because again, the last thing that I'd want to do is to create an environment where people don't feel like they can be themselves. And in my house, we are ourselves 24/7. Exactly. 365, 366 on leap year. We are who we are, and we allow ourselves that freedom to be, just to simply be, amongst one another.
I'm glad that you came on the show to talk about this. One of the reasons why I don't have, Dr. Susan and her PhD is because when it comes to, and I'm for therapy, so I don't want anybody to, black people go.
Yeah, please. I'm like, look,
you can't talk to your sister, mama, cousin. Go talk to the stranger. I promise I ain't gonna.
Look, if anything, and this is just my side note conversation, but if we were to ever receive reparations in America, I feel like therapy for everyone should be included, because there are a lot of things about ourselves that we repress, that we don't want to think about, or we just simply just put all the way back, that we never really address until something big happens or you are triggered or whatever the case may be. And so unlocking and unpacking those things that within our heads that we sometimes just don't think about, I feel like that is important as far as understanding who you are and why you are.
But I found with people in our community, and just hurt people and people, broke people, you know, just people that go through what we go through, tend to relate more, understand more to experience versus, you know, someone saying, this is what you should do. They relate more to, this is what I've been through. So I thank you for coming on, sharing your story, sharing what you went through with your family, because that in itself, just like you applaud your wife for the courage to tell her story, I applaud you for telling you all's story.
Thank you.
And I thank you. Beauties, I am your host. Well, you know the slogan, I do what I want and not what I can. That was my interview with Tarod McNight, host and creator of Tarodcast. I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did doing it. Thank you, Tarod, for coming to sit down with us. Beauties, if you want to hear more from the Me and My Show, plus a lot of other great podcasts from around Oklahoma City, like Nerds to Men, Chilling with Mike, OCD to City, where we bring you all independent artists, non-stop videos from Oklahoma and beyond, make sure you subscribe to my Patreon page today, patreon.com/dopepods. It's all one word. Now, there are 5 tiers that you can choose from, starting off at just $5, beauties. I know it's a lot, but, you know, look at me as that good dope weed you smoke. You know, buy a blunt. That way, you can get all of those pods and help support my show for all my beauties who want to see me continue to do what I do and keep my lights on. You get more content like the full unedited hour version of tonight's interview and those to come throughout the season. You also get extra bonus footage, content, and content that's only exclusive to the Patreon account and to my patrons on the Patreon account. There are more tiers that you can subscribe from, so it's anywhere from $5 to $20. All the audio shows, which is the best thing about this, all the audio shows are ad-free. So that's me, you beauties, and no commercials. I know you get tired of hitting YouTube and having to skip. There's no commercials. Anything me and you talked about or anything you want to see with me and you, then you can get it ad-free. You can also get our videos and even be part of a special Q&A session that we have with our members of our Patreon account once a month, so you can talk to me and any of the other podcasts that are a part of the Dope Pods family each month. So make sure you go subscribe today, and that's at patreon.com/dopepods. Like I said, you'll get the Me and My Show, Nerds to Men, Chilling with, as well as OCD to City. I'm looking forward to it, beauties. I've had such a great time with you tonight. Whew, like I said, I promised you all a musical performance. This guy I have watched elevate from so many levels. He sat down with me. I thought it was poignant that I bring it to you. Here is Gustavio the Don.
I'm Gusto the Don, and I'm here at the Me and My Show. And they made me freestyle.
Man, it's smoky in here.
You better fucking talk to him for real. Just listen to me.
He said, I don't even fuck with niggas. Gotta follow before you lean. You look up to niggas. I know some niggas who pop a bean before they pop the biscuit. I know some niggas who hustle mean, but still in the middle. For them pebbles, my first love, she never made peace. But she didn't understand the struggle, that's what made me. And then she felt like I was a sucker, that's what made me. But you a clown in that makeup and that fake weed. For real. In this city, they go off popularity. These niggas saying the same shit, that's what's kinda scary. And when they mention MCs, what about my sister Mary? And when they saying they the best, I don't even hear it. I've been through too much. No love for these niggas, my niggas been cut. We don't fuck with you niggas. I got some niggas in Ohio, put the buck in you niggas. And I can't sleep through the night, I'm really up with the killers. Shorty got your head whipped, she gon' get your ass killed for real. I let you pass with that last shit. I would cover a bad bitch, but that's a package for real. Can't trust a bitch who ain't never had shit. My whole life I'm plotting how to get it. I'm sealing the deal like I'm a top of the hill, so any I can get it. You pussy niggas saying anything to disguise a nigga. I'm like Wayne in this bitch, the sky's the limit. You niggas should take notes on how to get it. I fucked around and buy the dope, then rob this nigga. I'm like 2 steps ahead of the game. I hate my black people addicted to canes. And don't talk if you get caught in a raid. And no, please, we be beating the case. And I ain't Drake, but my Jew, he a beast in the costume. First he beat the case, then bust like Fort Moon. You can catch me in the D, probably off Fortune, but catch me in the O, they probably like fuck dude. They probably like fuck dude. Catch me in the O, they probably like fuck dude. Stand up for this shit, man. 5, 6, 3, 4, 5.
We talk